All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to tackle something that's, well, it's one of the most rewarding things you can learn as an artist, but let's be real, it's also one of the toughest: drawing faces.
And I have to start with this quote from the artist Sam Does Arts because it's just perfect. Do your faces look like poop? I mean, come on, if you've ever felt that, you are definitely not alone. We've all been there, right? Just staring at a drawing thinking something is so wrong here.
But here's the thing you have to understand. It's not because you're a bad artist, it's actually because your brain is too good. Seriously, our brains are basically face-recognizing supercomputers, fine-tuned over thousands of years to pick up on every little detail.
So let's get into our first section and really break down what's going on. It all comes down to that little expert critic living right inside your own skull.
And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? We're so good at seeing faces that we're hypersensitive when something looks off, even a tiny bit. The nose is a millimeter too low, the eye is slightly too big, and that little expert in your head just starts screaming, "Nope, that's wrong!" And the whole drawing suddenly feels like a total disaster.
And hey, don't think for a second this is just a beginner thing. Even the legendary portrait painter John Singer Sargent felt this. I mean, this quote just proves that even the absolute masters knew how hard this is. So if you're struggling with it, you are in very good company.
Okay, so we've established it's hard. But, and this is a big but, it is not impossible. So in this next section, we're going to lay out the foundational method, basically an architectural blueprint you can use for every single face you draw.
Think of this like a starting grid, a set of simple, reliable rules you can lean on every time. You start with a basic oval. Easy enough. Then you slice it in half, both vertically and horizontally. Now that horizontal line, that's super important. That's your eye line, right in the middle of the head. From there, go halfway down to the chin. Boom, that's where the bottom of the nose goes. And then, about a third of the way from the nose to the chin, you've got your mouth line. See? Simple, but so powerful.
And here it is, your official cheat sheet. This is perfect for double-checking your work. So vertically, we know the eyes are in the middle, but horizontally, a great rule of thumb is that the head is about 5 eyes wide. That really helps the spacing. The width of the nose, it should line up pretty well with the space between the eyes, and the corners of the mouth usually line up with the pupils. These are your foundational guides to getting the structure right from the start.
But here's the thing. Knowing the rules is only half the battle. Now you actually have to turn that knowledge into a skill. And that brings us to our next section, the practice mindset, where we're going to start treating drawing less like art and more like a workout.
This is a question I'm sure everyone here has asked themselves. You follow the blueprint, you know all the proportions, but for some reason your drawings just feel stiff or they feel lifeless. So what's the missing piece?
Well, the missing piece is your mindset, and Sam Does Arts gives us the absolute perfect metaphor here. You have to think about this like getting your reps in at the gym. It's not about creating one perfect, beautiful drawing every time you sit down. It's about building up your artistic muscles through repetition.
So, what does a good art workout actually look like? First off, speed is your friend. Set a timer, like 3 to 5 minutes per drawing. This forces you to stop getting bogged down in tiny details. And if a drawing just isn't working, ditch it. Move on. The goal here is reps, not a single perfect masterpiece. Oh, and give yourself a focus for the day. Maybe today is all about drawing different expressions. And finally, my favorite part, embrace the mess. Get sketchy, use fast lines, don't even think about touching that eraser. This is about practice, not perfection. This whole workout idea leads us to an even more powerful concept, practicing with a real purpose, and being willing to change your routine. So welcome to our next section. Embracing the process, the art of the pivot. This all comes down to this idea of mindful practice. It's the exact opposite of just mindlessly drawing the same thing over and over again. It's about looking at your own work like a detective, figuring out what's not working, and then consciously changing what you're doing to fix that one specific problem. You basically become your own art coach. And here's a fantastic real-world example of this pivot in action. So Sam noticed his own lines were getting really stiff and tense. And instead of just pushing through, he pivoted. He switched up his exercise completely and started doing contour drawings, where you use one single continuous line. Now, the goal wasn't to make a beautiful drawing. The goal was just to loosen up his hand. That's it. He saw a problem and changed his entire workout to fix it. That is the art of the pivot. And this gets to the real core of it. You have to embrace being a little bit uncomfortable. If you only ever draw what you're already good at, you'll never actually improve. You've got to hunt down those tricky angles, those tough expressions. because real growth only ever happens right at the edge of your comfort zone.
Okay, time to bring this all together and get you ready to actually put pencil to paper. This is our final section, your turn to draw, from poo to masterpiece.
So, if there's one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. Real, lasting improvement doesn't come from just one thing. It comes from combining that solid technical foundation, our blueprint, with a powerful growth mindset, our workout. When you get those two things working together, that's when the magic really starts to happen.
And I want to leave you with this fantastic and frankly unforgettable piece of wisdom. This is your official permission to make bad drawings. Every messy, frustrating, poo drawing is not a failure. It's a necessary building block, a stepping stone for the masterpiece you're working towards.
You have the blueprint. You've got the mindset. The only thing left to do now is, well, stop watching this and start drawing. Seriously, pick up a pencil. Go build your mountain.